And we're singing. We're singing. Time to talk. Beauty and the Bitch. Mickey, I think there's something wrong with the volume on your mic. Like, I can hear you sort of. Yeah, it sounds like you're constipated or like you're really mad.
Oh, God, that was a really difficult poop. You called it, Morgan. I was like, that was painful.
I hate when you make that noise.
You know what happened, and I'll tell you exactly what happened.
Please do.
I bought a whole box of Shipley's donuts and ate them in one day.
You're confessing. Welcome to Confessional Corner. What have you eaten today? Because, girl, I had 6 of those Milano cookies when you weren't looking.
Well, I don't judge you for that. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you an assortment of 12 donuts, all eaten within 12 hours.
That makes me just want donuts. It doesn't make me sad for you, angry, or have any other emotion except jealousy.
I chose to get the cream-filled donuts.
Oh, girl.
It was a good choice, I have to tell you.
Oh.
Except, now, I don't know which white cream I like and which white cream I don't like, but there is a white cream I do not like.
I like the custard one. The one that's more like custard.
I like that one. Yes, and there was one that was a bit more, maybe it's a Boston cream. It's like airy almost.
Sure.
It's almost like a like topping on a cake.
You think it's a waste of space.
Like a frosting. It just wasn't good.
Yeah.
Like I was like, ooh, I like this donut except for all this cream shit in the middle.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm into that custard cream.
Oh, yes.
Dude, donuts are what's up.
I mean, they're pretty much what's keeping me going right now.
Yeah.
And I downloaded a whole new app to get them delivered. Because they don't do it through Grubhub. There wasn't nothing open at 10 in the morning when I decided I wanted donuts. So, girl, I got myself on that old Uber Eats. No, I wouldn't have done that because I hate Uber. Something. I did something. Postmates.
Well,
and they delivered it
desperation.
to me. Girl, I made it. Welcome back.
Yes, welcome back to another episode of Beauty and the Bitch. I'm Morgan.
And I'm Mick.
Yeah, also known as Donut Boy, apparently.
Yeah, well, they call me Donut Hole in some areas because my hole's so sweet.
He's gay.
What? How dare you out me immediately?
I'm so sorry.
God,
I think it's actually in the show notes.
My
probably
sweet tasting butthole. Also.
Probably first thing in the show notes. Welcome back to Beauty and the Bitch. Mick is gay. Just like we like to be
Morgan's
honest.
A bitch.
And her leg is brown.
Why
can't I have any cool features?
Yeah, being bitchy is cool.
Is it?
It takes a lot of courage to be a bitch in this
Honestly,
world,
I feel like really because all my people are bitches.
Well, we're all courageous, aren't we?
I guess.
Yeah.
We're all something.
You're built upon the shoulders of giants, the wind underneath your wings.
Thank you.
A bitchy wind is a blowing.
Always a blowing. So we have not actually circled back to the zombie noises we were making. Actually, today we're here to talk about The Walking Dead, which you could not tell from the last 3 minutes of conversation we had about donuts and wind beneath wings.
Well, look, all things that won't exist once the zombie apocalypse hits.
Donuts?
No one exists.
Why?
Well,
Why? Don't.
Uh-oh.
Don't go there. You are coming for donuts when what? We can't make a fire, boil some
Have you ever
oil?
First of all,
some fucking batter?
Morgan, first of all, if you make homemade donuts, chances are extremely good. I'm sorry for pulling a Eugene moment. I'm going to get technical here. Chances are extremely good. You'd be making a cake donut at best. Okay. So we're not having no glaze. We ain't having no Krispy Kremes. Okay?
I don't know.
Don't come at me for a Boston cream sauce.
Believe in me?
I
We
believe
can get a
in
little
you.
gun and shoot some Boston cream in the middle.
Girl, we need all those guns for zombies. Girl, we ain't got no free guns for shooting Boston creams. Hello, goodbye.
There's like a shotgun, and somebody's like, "We need a gun," and you look at it, and you're like, "I just loaded it with custard, though."
I mean, damn.
I wish I could help you.
That's how you go. Is you commit suicide with the custard gun, but you're just getting a taste of it before the zombies eat you.
Honestly,
There are
10 out
worse
of 10
ways to
best
go.
way to
Yeah, way worse ways to go than custard suicide.
Oh, anyhow.
So we're talking about season 8 into season 9 of The Walking Dead.
Which also is known as the excessive arc of The Walking Dead.
Yes, the never-ending Negan story arc, the never-ending, what do they call it? Wartime? Warline. Warfare.
Girl, they call it a misery that we willingly subjected ourselves to.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay, so... Look, normally one of us is at least somewhat optimistic about whatever topic we're covering, because that's kind of the point of the show, is like our fandom, but we're both kind of in a bleak place with The Walking Dead
but
right now.
we come from a place of love because we love previous series of The Walking Dead. Mickey read the comics.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good that has happened that has kept us trucking through the last couple of seasons, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. But yeah, you're right. We have both arrived to this place of like bleak outlook. Like literally if somebody was like, describe Walking Dead in 2 words, I would be like dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Like no 2 words better describe the season finale of The Walking Dead to me, personally, than dumpster fire.
Why you have to put old Judy's Janice Jocelyn, what's her name? Dumpster lady. Oh, monosyllabic dumpster
I think it was
lady.
the first word that you said. Judas? No,
Janice?
Judas is like a Bible
It's
thing.
like something like that. It's like It's not Judice. Jadis.
Yes.
Oh, made ass.
First of all, she actively lives in a dump.
She lives in
dumpster fire.
and when she got attacked. So yeah, literally, you're just calling her out right now.
Those are just real words of things that happened to her specifically.
We should say, so we're going to be talking about season 8. This is like spoiler alert. Season 8 is currently available on Netflix. So I don't know
it, girl.
what the hell you've been doing if you ain't watched it yet.
Or maybe you're like us and it's an effort.
And that's fair too. Hey, actually, I was all up on the mic. I just realized that's probably so loud.
I don't know. It's probably fine.
But I was very passionate about my apathy because that's where I'm at right now.
And actually, Aaron is my sweet baby husband. Hi, baby.
Hi, baby.
Is
Oh,
we love you. So cute.
It's a grown man.
He's fully 31, and we just talked to him like a baby. But
he loves that, I'm sure.
Is also in this like the same place that we're in. So it was kind of fun to watch it with him because we could both just actively turn the volume down and talk over and be like, is this motherfucker for real right now? Mm-hmm. And like having that camaraderie of hate really gets you far in life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're renewing our vows on the basis of hating The Walking Dead season 8. It's going well.
I think that's great, and that's a solid foundation. I think the vast majority of the watching public agree with you.
The ratings say so.
Yes,
honestly.
it's plummeting. It's absolutely plummeting. You should see them rip it to pieces on the Walking Dead subreddit. Because Reddit is they are extremely critical anyway, no matter what subreddit you're on. It's just a critical group of people for whatever reason. There's a lot of love there, but oh my god, girl, the only thing I think is rougher is the Arrow subreddit, because since old Felicity done came into the show,
girl, if I got on the Flash subreddit, I'd have some fucking shit to say about the last season.
Yes, and there was a lot on Reddit. I stopped watching the Flash, but it seems like maybe I picked a good time to jump ship.
Girl, it got bad. It got so bad that when I missed you miss like a main story arc unless you watch like 4 crossover episodes, and it's like, this should not be a requirement.
Yeah, you
know what I mean?
That's irritating.
You lost me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You're asking for too much. Well, why all these shows are failing in our opinion, or getting worse at least? Why is where did The Walking Dead go wrong? I have a specific moment, but you might have other moments.
Well, so we have been on this Negan story arc, literally, I think, for 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Or like 2.5.
2 solidly, like
2 full-on seasons.
But the one before, at least 3/4.
It was like the lead up to it.
Yeah.
And actually, the lead into... Okay, so the season where we were leading into Negan, which I think was season 6.
I think it was season 6.
So we were ramping into Negan, but we had other problems we were dealing with, like those people that ate other people, whatever they were called.
The wolves or something?
There was like they said they had a sanctuary, but then when you got there, they put you in a cage and they ate
you. Tried to eat her.
Yeah, so I think that was happening alongside the wolves, alongside the rise of Negan. Yeah. And so that season was, first of all, that was like a lot of different things going on, but it was still good during that time because we're still making progress, right? Mm-hmm. And I think the ramp into Negan was one of the most eloquent things that they had done, because they basically laid a whisper campaign for Negan, right? Throughout that whole season, before we ever met Negan, we had whispers of Negan, people being like, I am Negan, and being like, what's Negan? Or like, who's that? Or like, what's that thing? And it was like this mystery that I appreciate, because it's just like, the fucking saviors had to go so far out of their way to make it this nefarious thing that I think is really cool. Also, leading into Negan, we are leading into the kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
And the kingdom...
And the hilltop, too.
Yes. And the kingdom ended up not being as cool as the lead into the kingdom, because when we had whispers of, like, a king man with, like, a fucking tiger, like, there was a lot of epic things. And then when we first met Negan, he made an entrance. Like, the entrance of Negan on that season finale that people love to hate was incredible.
Which was torn. Most of that was torn right from the comics. So I do have to say, a lot of people who like to hate on that season finale also say they're comics fans. So, honey, girl,
I thought it was incredible. I thought it was amazing. I was fine with the cliffhanger because it at least gave us something to look forward to.
I didn't mind that at all.
And also, I just skipped a bunch of time between the lead up to Negan and then actually meeting Negan. But when we actually got to meet Negan, it was Jeffrey Dean Morgan stepped onto the fucking screen like a king. Like, he ran that show. It was everything you wanted it to be. And then 2 seasons later, it's just like, can we just wrap this the fuck up?
Yeah.
Like, it went from such a powerful thing to like a boring thing.
So season 6, so you're right. Season 6 is Alexandrians and them getting comfortable in Alexandria, which is when we first started hearing whispers of Negan. So you're right. Season 6, 7, and 8 are all essentially, build Negan up to heavy. Negan or Negan. Yeah. And I think, like you, I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan did great. I think he's great as Negan.
He is so good.
But this should have been at most a 2-season arc. At most.
Yes.
How long was the Governor was?
Okay, Governor had 1 season and then he went away, and then like 2 seasons later he like came back. It was like Governor, and then you had a break, and then I think he came back the next season. You know what I mean?
And he was like so different when he came. He's
so different. Yeah. And also he brought a different set of problems, and then it brought Andrea back into the mix, and we met Michonne, I think. I don't know. I forget the timeline, but the Governor coming back at first was really stupid, but then he served a great purpose, and like we had a lot of pivotal deaths around the return of the Governor. We lost Maggie's dad.
Yeah. What's his name? Herschel! The
world's most southern word that ever were spoken.
Herschel, who in season 2 I didn't care for a bit, but he came around for me.
He made it come back. Yeah, I agree. Actually, he had a great character arc. Yes. So, and then also the Governor's return, we gained a bunch of new characters after the fallout.
Yes.
And then that's when we met the Rictatorship, and that's when there was a down point after the Rictatorship took place. You remember that speech he gave after the Governor second coming? He they all gathered around a fire. They had lost a bunch of people in the woods. I can't remember who, and they weren't all together, but Rick was basically like, we're banding to here. I'm the fucking leader. You will listen to what I say, or basically I will kill you. He was basically like, that is the thing. And then we got those great Rictatorship memes. And then, honestly, I can't remember what happens right after. Oh, did they go? No, they were already at the prison.
Yeah, they're at the prison.
They left the prison after the Governor.
Yeah.
Then
the tank fucked everything up.
And then that's when they were like wandering around, and then
they got the
people
cannibals.
Yeah.
And that one little girl done killed her sister, and then Carol had to kill that little girl.
That season to me was like a little wavering. Like
it was a little iffy.
Some stuff was interesting, but nothing was really solid. So then with this like onset of Negan, we get like a good villain, turned into a big disappointment with just like, it's a slow story.
I really think, look, we were talking about other shows that went off the rails or jumped the shark, they say. Arrow, I think, did it with Olicity, which is Arrow and Felicity. Oliver and Felicity. I think they focused too much on that and ruined that show. I don't know if Flash has jumped the shark yet and gone into just bad show forever territory, but normally
it's not going great.
Do you have any guess as to that jump the shark moment was? Like, was there a moment, a setup to a thing that you were like, girl, really?
Yeah. I think Barry left to be in the Speed Force to save
vacay in the Speed Force.
Everyone. And then he came back. No, what happened? Barry died.
Oh.
And then... Shit, I don't even know what happened. Barry either, like, died or sacrificed himself to the Speed Force, and then Iris was all alone. And then, like, when he came back, him coming back and all the storyline after that of him, like, trying to reconcile with Iris and her being like, I can't believe you would leave me, when also... he left you because if he didn't, then the whole world was gonna die.
Yeah.
So, like, you think that your wedding day is more important than the whole world? So they fucked up
Iris's character.
Whatever. You know how I've always felt about Iris. Like, I'm not... She's fine.
She's fine. She's a
but sometimes she's a dramatic dumb bitch. But sometimes I mean 85% of the time. And then they had this whole thing about, like, Barry and Iris, and so much was focused on him trying to, like, rebuild their relationship. And then, like, Wally got really emo, and, like...
Kid Flash, if you're not
Kid Flash. And then, like, all the... Like, there was not enough... What's that best character's name? Who's been a bunch of different people?
Oh,
Professor, and then different...
Well, he's a reverse Flash, for one thing.
Harry Wells.
So,
the Harry Wells characters, there's, like,
HW.
a lot less of him. Oh, and then HW is also dead.
Yeah, because that act... Oh, HW died?
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right. That's okay.
Anyways, they just made some choices, and then everything was boring, and then they went deep into crossovers. Like, deep into
I think the problem with The Flash, and forgive us for spending so much time, but this is connected because we're talking about shows that we think have jumped the shark, and all these shows to me have jumped the shark right now. I think my red flag was when what's his face, Tech in the lab, who's Barry's friend, who's like one of the best characters in the show.
Draco Malfoy.
No, the original. No, not Draco.
Oh.
His
Cisco?
friend. Cisco. Oh my god.
When Cisco did what?
When Cisco, there was a season
that was
3.
So long. When he was emo?
When he was emo.
That was a long time ago.
But here's why, to me, that was a red flag. That was a long time ago. And that might be completely over. Maybe he's back to great Cisco again. But what I realized was, like, if they try to go dark and dramatic with this show, it doesn't work for me.
If they try to go full Arrow or something.
Yes, it doesn't. Or full, even more so, full like Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
Like low teen drama shit. And I feel like The Flash was veering more and more and more into that. And I stopped watching because I was like, no, The Flash needs to be the fun one. It's okay for them to be real people and have, like, problems. But, like, I need Parks and Rec, okay? I don't need fucking CSI Special Victims Unit.
I totally agree with that, actually.
So where do you think that The Walking Dead jumped the shark? Was it at the beginning of this season 8 where they decided we're going to do Negan again?
I think it was season 7. I think season 7 made no efforts to further the storyline into a conclusion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, in all the other story arcs, you can see and feel like a tangible end, which will create a bright new beginning that you can cling on to for the next season. And season 7 didn't have any of that. And also it took really powerful things that had a lot of potential. The Kingdom and whatever their leader's name is, and the Tiger, Negan, the Hilltop, Maggie's rebirth after Glenn's death, the story arc with Rosita and Homegirl. You know what? Sasha.
Can I just tell you? So I looked up the synopsis for season 7, episode 1, and this was the beginning of the season. The stakes continue to grow higher as paths cross. The group enacts an intricate plan. Does that sound like a season premiere to you?
No, bitch.
No.
So I think
you're onto something.
I think during season 7, it began to take a bad turn, and also we've talked about this before. But when they do character heavy episodes, like we're gonna follow Father Gabriel this week or something.
Mm-hmm.
People hate that shit. And they've done so much of that the last 2 seasons.
Bottle episodes. They're
so
loving that
much.
shit.
And they, to me, honestly, I almost can just be like, well, just skip this and read on Wikipedia. Because, like, I don't want to see it.
You know what's funny about that? We're talking about a lot of other TV this episode, but I almost feel like they're trying to Orange is the New Black it.
Yeah.
And like, girl, no. It doesn't, because one of the central premises of Orange is the New Black is the world is the same out there. It's just a different world in here. The whole premise of The Walking Dead is the world is different. So going into a person's backstory, that's not the point to me. Like, yeah, sometimes you're like, oh, I had no idea. Like, that's interesting. But really, it's a show about the present in this apocalyptic world. The past isn't as powerful because it's gone. It's gone.
Why they do it, and I get it, is because we had this main cast that we knew a lot about. And then we have killed off
most of
those people. So when we have new characters that we're expected to believe in and basically like invite into our hearts and our family, I think that they think that we need more background information, but I think that we're so far beyond that because like we're so in the world 8 seasons later that it's like, I don't really need to know where the lesbian doctor came from and at what point she became a lesbian. What I need to know is that she has survived for almost a decade in the zombie apocalypse and she's here to help people and like that she's a good person. Like, I don't need to know how she got to there. I just know that she, in a decade of horror, has remained a good person.
It's like how they kept telling Spider-Man's origin story over and over. And at a certain point, everyone was like, nah, girl. Batman too. Spider-Man and Batman both were like, nah, girl, I don't want to see that again. Just show me who he is right now. But I feel like, now look, there's a lot of writing that's on this show that has been good in the past.
Sure.
But I think in the last couple seasons, the writing has seriously gotten worse because those bottle episodes and stuff like you're talking, the like flashback stuff, that really is lazy writing. A flashback is lazy writing for the most part because we don't get to flashback in real life. So how do you get to know people in real life? You find a clue. They tell you a something. You share something together. But people don't sit down and say, it was 1972. I stepped onto college. Like, you don't get that.
To be honest, maybe we should try that.
Maybe we should start that.
Sounds kind of fun when you put it
maybe
like
we
that.
should. I mean, yes, fair enough.
Like, if somebody's like, where did you guys meet? We could be like, it was the summer of 2001. Or like, whatever.
I was a loser, but Morgan was a bigger loser.
Fresh on my cheek was rose glow and the smell of fear. And they're like, we're good.
No, sit down. We've got 6 more hours of this. We've
got
choreographed
8 seasons just for you.
So that's indicative too. That's another flag, is all those flashbacks. I agree with you. That's a big ish. There is one specific thing that happened this season that to me, the minute it happened, I was like, it just jumped the shark. By the way,
we've said spoilers.
Oh yeah, and this is a huge spoiler. We always say the phrase "jumping the shark" comes from that Happy Days episode where Fonzie.
Happy days will make your dreams come
true. Okay, you don't remember the Happy Days song? It's okay. Neither do I. And for a minute, I really thought that was it. Happy days will make your dreams come true. Whatever, fuck it. There's an episode later in the run, though not at the very end of the run, it goes on for a lot longer, where Fonzie jumps a shark with his motorcycle.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, but why does that mean something is bullshit? Because that sounds awesome. Like, to me, that means like Lord of the Rings really jumped the shark when Gandalf rolled up to the 2 towers with a band of horses.
He said, I've got these horses for you, bitch. Here comes the sun.
Oh, yeah. He really jumped the shark in that one.
He jumped the shark. Well, it's because the show had already, Happy Days had already been kind of
Are you
limping
lying
along.
to
No,
me?
this is real life. This is real life. The reason they call it that, and the reason it was indicative is because the show had already been limping along and they were trying to like do something new and interesting to like amp it up. So Fonzie was going to become this like
youth pastor.
Youth pastor. Couldn't you see it? daredevil, like, type, whatever. And he literally jumped over a shark. And everyone around was like, yay, Fonzie, yay.
And the audience was like...
And they were like, now
what?
it's desperate. Now it's desperate. Fonzie is desperate.
Okay, so what is the moment do you want to get into?
Okay, thank you for pulling me back in. So it is the mid-season finale, and I don't doubt... What are you laughing about? Are you imagining Carl jumping a shark right now on a motorcycle? Is that what you're imagining?
I just stand behind the...
Carl!
It should, by those standards, to me, it should mean it's an awesome thing.
So here's though why. That episode of Happy Days was the beginning of a really marked decrease in quality. There happened to be shark jumping on the episode. But really jumping the shark just means it's the beginning of the downturn. But you're right, jumping a shark is objectively awesome.
So, another phrase we might get from The Walking Dead is killing the prodigal son.
Killing, yes. Yeah, exactly.
They were killed the prodigal son on that one.
Look, so you probably know already, even if you haven't seen it, that Carl dies.
I knew before I saw it happen because the fucking
How could you
Facebook.
not? Let me tell you. So I was watching it more or less. I was watching like a couple hours behind, but more or less in real time up to the mid-season finale. And I stopped watching after Carl died. Carl can't die. It's always been about Carl. Like, Rick's whole purpose in life is to keep his children safe. And in the comics, Carl is still alive. And
which is
it is
the
Carl's
most crazy
story.
thing.
It is like his story. Yeah.
And there was beef around it. Like, there was a lot of, like, accusations and rumors flying on the internet around this. And, like, we don't know the facts of what happened, but it sounded like it was not a good thing or a wanted thing.
No, what's his face?
Chandler Riggs.
Chandler Riggs didn't want to leave the show, according to him, according to the interviews he's been given.
Right.
He was very upset, you know? And so to me, that was the moment where the show jumped the shark, because Carl, not like Glenn, who was an obvious heart of the group, but Carl was like what they were all fighting for, you know? And had been fighting for so long. Rick, above all. There's so many times that Rick would have died if he hadn't had Carl. Because Judith, yeah, but Judith, one, may not really be his son, first of all, or his daughter.
Is 100% not.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess that's true, is 100% not his daughter. And two, is a small baby. And as much as you can, you know, Carl is his one and only son, who he has been with for so long. It was just horrible. And the way they decided to kill Carl was so very like, yeah, this is in the comics. You can tell because it's badly written. Yeah. Because he's just helping this rando motherfucker whose mother thinks that the souls are still in the zombie. So she's some religious bitch who, even in death, can't help but fuck up other people's lives. And then Carl wants to put the zombies down because he's in a sweet phase. And he just gets bit out of nowhere, which could happen. I'm not saying that couldn't happen, but I'm saying as a viewer of the show, that is not satisfying. And maybe that's the point. Maybe they were giving us a fuck you with that. But you know what? I say, fuck you too then. I'm done. I'm literally done. I watched the last episode of the season, so I'd know how it ended, so I could talk about it. But, like, I'm pretty much over it, man.
Also, not to try to put drama into Rick's life, but I don't know if you remember when Lori died.
I do, yeah.
Rick was very dramatic.
Yeah.
And, like, he was upset when Carl died, but, like...
It wasn't right, yeah.
How does he go from, like, the distraughtness of Lori dying...
Lori, who had treated him badly,
to his one and only son, who is the whole sole purpose of his life?
Literally, how many times have you heard him say, Carl! Carl!
So much.
Carl!
So much.
Carl!
It's like his number one vocabulary word.
Yeah, literally. He's like a Pokemon, except all he says is Carl.
Yeah.
Carl.
He's a Carl bot.
Carl.
It's interesting. Like, yeah, they try to be like, he funnels his sadness into rage at Negan. But also, like, not really. Like, he wasn't even angry enough on like, if he was like, this is Negan's fault, and he channeled it into Negan, he weren't even that mad. And he didn't kill that motherfucker.
And he didn't kill him. Yeah. Spoiler, big spoiler number 2, finale spoiler. Well, he doesn't kill him in the comic, so I was happy. In a way, I was happy to see he didn't kill him, because after Carl dying, I was like, well, who the fuck knows then?
Right.
I disagree with Rick.
Oh, girl, you and Maggie both.
I mean, yeah, I was Maggie in that moment, you know, because I don't know. Because I saw when he sliced his throat, I was like, oh, he's dead. But I guess it wasn't a deep enough cut or whatever. I mean, who won this season? Who did you like this season? Which I think is actually harder to answer than maybe it's ever been, because a lot of my favorite characters were almost non-characters this season.
I liked that guy with the mustache that used to be Negan's hype man, that was then like, sidebar, I'm gonna kill everyone, don't tell Negan. I liked him as far as like, he was to me the most engaging character to follow this season, because he had real motivations and a real story arc that was not fun, that's a terrible word, he's a murderer, that was entertaining to watch, but also like
Stephen Ogg.
What's his character name? Do you know? I forget. But he had like a lot going on, whereas like other people, like Rick and his people, were just kind of reliving their same trauma, except also Carl died and that was traumatic for them. But like otherwise they were stagnant in a lot of ways, because they just spent time like, we're trying to beat Negan, we didn't, let's think about it, let's try a different way, and then we didn't, let's think about it. Like everything was just so circular for them. So I enjoyed that fucker.
I'm sorry, I can't find his name. And also, look, when I look this up, speaking of
panties,
the internet listening to you, the exact pair of panties that I got ordered today appeared as a pop-up ad on tvtropes.org.
They're fucking listening.
I hate that. It scares me.
So I enjoyed his story arc, and then
Simon? Is his name Simon?
Simon.
Yeah, he's Simon.
So I enjoyed Simon's story arc, and I enjoyed Eugene's story arc.
Eugene was good
because I was
season,
surprised by him in so many ways.
Did you think so at the end of the season, Eugene, who's I don't know. Do we ever pretend? Do people who don't watch the show at all listen to these episodes even? Whatever. Eugene exists, and he seemed to betray our group, Steve, or Rick and everyone. And then he went over to the Saviors. And this entire season has been him being like a pathetic bootlicker, seemingly.
Well, which is what he's been on.
Which is what he's always been.
Like, he just transfers.
But now he's licking a villain's boots.
He's
really.
just transferred allegiance.
Yeah, but he's always been that. You're right. But yeah, he done put those faulty ammos in them guns.
He really turned it around, and like
he essentially won the battle.
He surprised me. Like,
yeah, me
I didn't know that he would, and also, he's such a like trope of a character that sometimes it's easy to just like not think about him because he's just like annoying Eugene. Or whatever, but I really enjoyed watching him this season, and Simon. Sometimes Maggie, but not all the time. Yeah, interesting moments.
I thought the leader of the kingdom, whose name you could remember, now I can't remember.
Maybe?
Ezekiel, yes, yeah. King Ezekiel. I thought he had a really fascinating story arc this season. And I thought it was powerful.
Through some stuff, especially the first half.
Exactly, because he put such a smiling face onto the horrible job of marching to war that they were doing, that when it all went wrong and he essentially lost his army. I mean, pretty much him and Carol and
his
like, little man. His little axe man. That's about it. Even Shiva died. Sheba.
So basically only the main characters lived? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, that's pretty much what you're hearing, yeah. But he lost his spirit. I mean, and he was really like, you saw the burden of leadership. Yeah. I think that's what I found interesting. And we see that with Rick a lot, but it was interesting to see it with this outsized character who kind of seemed like could do no wrong for a while. And really did seem like maybe he could restart civilization. I mean, the man had a tame tiger. That's not dime a dozen.
Of all the neighborhood oases or whatever that we've seen, I felt like theirs seemed to thrive more than everyone else.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
Even with, like, giving their cut to the Saviors. Like, they had to deal with the Saviors and gave them a big cut.
And they could do it completely in secret, and no one knew. That's how well they were doing.
Yeah,
right?
So he cultivated salvation in chaos. Yeah. He really did.
Well, you probably think you would fit in at the kingdom, but I think you would fit in Trash Can Man.
Girl, I'm not going to old little dumpster heaven.
You talk like this. Talk this like.
It's weird because I think they're interesting and intriguing as like additions to this world, but I also think it's so insane ridiculous that I hate it.
Well, it is made up for the show. I can't remember if we mentioned that already. It's not in the comic books at all, but there are whispers that they're going to become the Whisperers.
Yeah, so they suffered some trauma this season.
Girl.
But there are a lot of rumors about what Jadis. What role?
Call her Judice, though. It fits so much better. She's such a Judice.
She is, though. Like, what role she might take on next season, because she's still in the cast, and she's lost her peoples, and she's got options, but we don't know what she's going to do. And also, at the dump this season, we caught glimpses of, I think twice, a helicopter existing just kind of overhead.
Like a running helicopter.
Like a running helicopter flying by.
Yeah.
And so there is a lot unexplained in that Easter egg that I think we're going to address next season.
Yeah, because old Simon, was it Simon that had that conversation where he was like, you know what the dump used to be, right? Was that, you were telling me about that.
Oh, yeah.
Was that Simon?
Well, I was just reading it.
Oh, okay.
But yes, I think it was Simon was like asking her if she knew what it used to be or whatever, and mentioned that it might be a secret.
Like a base.
Or
like a
something.
Military base.
Yeah, and it's like underground.
Well, and the leader, so the next big bad, which, okay, so with the defeat but not death of Negan, we've reached what I read to in the comics. So I'm like done. Like I have no more knowledge except what I've picked up here and there. And what I know is that the next big bad is going to be called the Whisperers. And I saw some pictures of them, and if they look in the show like they do in the comics, they are scary. They be wearing skins on their faces. And their leader is a woman. So, hello, Jadis Judice. It's your time, Judice.
Yeah, so we read that there's some rumors that, like, she could maybe take on that role.
Alpha, right?
Yes, and, like, belong to this new bad. A lot of people are predicting that Jadis, one way or another, is the big villain of the next season. And honestly, though, I'm already just so exhausted to be like, we're done with Negan. We're moving into, like...
I know, immediately.
It's so exhausting, like, honestly.
I mean, the show needs to end. I think that shows that the show should be ending right now.
Also, we used to have other problems that weren't bad people. Like, we used to just be like, the zombie apocalypse is also just a problem. And, like, I feel like so much anymore, that's not a thing. Like, we're not worried about the zombies. They're only just a tool, worried really. About the other people.
Yeah. They're like a gun that can backfire on you or something.
So crazy.
Yeah. Which I guess is really always what it was at heart. And that's what zombie apocalypse normally boils down to. Is like, yeah, the zombies are scary, but they're like typhoons or earthquakes. They're a mindless, quote unquote natural. You know what I mean?
Could strike at any time. There's really nothing you can do.
Exactly. And they're not actually full of malice. They don't actually hate you. They don't want revenge. They're just hungry, right? Whereas it's always about the people being conniving, being tricksy, yawning while you're speaking.
So sorry, it's a double recording.
I know, and we did drink that whole bottle of wine too.
Yeah, we did.
I was listening to an episode though, and
where we were drunk.
Yes, and you were totally yawning while I was giving sweet pearls of wisdom. America, somebody save me. But okay, so here's the thing though. Andrew Lincoln is leaving after season 9.
Which I think is so intriguing.
Yeah, so that season's not out yet. It's going to premiere on October 7th.
It is a bad sign, though. When your main character leaves a show, when is it ever successful after that? Never. In what history case is that a thing?
And you know what? Genuinely, I think Andrew Lincoln could have left if Carl and Michonne had stayed behind. Or Carl, at least. And I think Carl could have become Carl. But now that Carl's dead, girl, no. Who is going to step up and do that? Also, is he going to leave or is he going to die?
Which is another question. And people have like a ton of weird fan theories. I was reading a couple, and there's like a couple variations on Rick gets kidnapped and then something, and then that can shift their focus from like the mundane villain situation they've been having to like a quest to like retrieve him.
But we just saw someone, Daryl just got kidnapped and it was so long, and then Sasha was kidnapped. I mean, really. And,
but his thing would be all off screen. You would never follow his kidnapping because he's gone. You know what I mean? So they're changing their landscape by going on a quest to save him. And then they maybe speculated that like he could return for like the series finale. Like series finale would be like, we found Rick. I don't know.
That would be so fucking lame. I hope they didn't do that. If either he's there or he's not is the way I feel about it personally. But Would you like to hear the synopsis for the first episode of season 9?
I would.
It's spoiler free. So you're talking about moving location, though. Rick and his group make a risky run into Washington, D.C.
Oh, that's pretty far north.
to search for artifacts they will need to build the civilization he and Carl envisioned.
Also, they did not co-envision anything.
Okay, hello, goodbye. Hello, older white men taking that teenage boy's ideas and saying that you envision them too.
That, makes me irrationally annoyed.
You know what? When I read that, I thought that, and I was like, I'm probably just being too petty. Thank you so much for noticing that. He didn't envision shit. He was trying to burn shit to the ground and salt the earth.
That's like if he was like, my good friend Shane once thought that there was like it's like, didn't you kill him?
Didn't you have to kill him?
Didn't he actually be the father of Judith?
Yeah. Wasn't he actually better looking than
And Rick's
you?
just like,
Yes.
la 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 la.
I can't hear it.
Listen,
I'm the prettiest
this is
man.
indicative of who we are as people, that you think Shane is better looking than Rick Grimes.
Definitely better.
Because I could not feel more differently.
Really?
I think Shane is gross.
Shane's so beautiful.
Yeah, I think he's nasty.
Oh, you so crazy.
No, it's just how I feel.
You know, I invited that actor here today, and he actually was going to walk in right now, but now he's leaving in tears.
Well, he's leaving because you called him Shane and you don't know his real name.
His real name is...
Because my man's name is Andrew Lincoln.
Waylon Simmons.
And he's crazy looking and secretly British, but I do like his face.
I think he's fine looking. He just doesn't quite do it for me. But I'm looking up Shane from The Walking Dead because I know his name.
He's been in some things.
Portrayed by John Bernthal.
Boring.
Barenthal.
John Bernstein.
You really think he's creepy looking? I think he's so fun.
I didn't say
creepy.
as in he's nasty.
You said nasty. Wait.
He does look like a villain at heart, though.
He looks pretty fine there, don't you think?
I think he looks...
I found a sexy picture of him.
I think he looks fine,
easy to do.
But, like, I'm just not
look
into
at him
it.
there, though. He looks
That's
creepy
nasty.
there. He does look nasty creepy, yeah. Well, anyway.
I'm sure he's a fine person. All I was saying is that, like...
No, of course.
We have very different
We do have different tastes in men, which is
Just
good.
the other day, you were like, this person was sexy, and I was like, I must have misheard you because I looked at the same person.
And you know what? That's funny. It's I feel that with almost all my friends.
Totally.
They point out a guy that's hot, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Of all the
That's
men in the
great,
world,
though.
it is good
That's
because
so
you don't
great.
want to have the same taste as your
Yeah.
friends. That's nothing but a
No.
recipe for disaster.
No, it's not good.
Okay, so Andrew Lincoln leaving in season 9, and I don't think he even finishes out season 9 because I saw today's like the 3rd of October, and I saw just a few days ago that he had filmed his last scene, and I think I don't know what that means actually. He's definitely leaving. I know that for certain.
But the manner of his leaving obviously is to be determined.
Is TBD. I think he's gonna. Well, now that you've told me this whole theory about him getting kidnapped, that's smart. That's a way for them to keep people watching. He's like still on the show, even though he's not on the show. I thought he was gonna die. I thought he was gonna die.
Dying is like probably the number one way to get off The Walking Dead.
I mean,
like,
girl,
there's probably like a character or two that isn't here anymore because they went their own way or something. I don't know. But even Morgan came back later.
Yeah.
Morgan was like, bye. And then like 6 seasons later, he was the main character.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Tell me this though. I mean, are you going to be there to watch Andrew Lincoln leave?
Girl, I don't think I can keep up with this in real time. And honestly, I don't think I'll avoid spoilers. Like, I actually almost would welcome spoilers so I could just be in the know. And if it sounds later like it's worth watching when it hits Netflix, maybe I'll catch it up. But I don't think I can keep up in real time. I don't have the effort, the energy, or like the interest. Really.
I mean, this is kind of a depressing episode for us to put out, but I agree with you. I mean, this is it. I mean, to me, it jumped the shark, and I kind of stopped watching with Carl's death. Not because of, look, I'm not even that much of a Carl fan.
Right?
It's what it signified to me about the show. And I don't think they know where they're going. And
they do seem lost.
Yeah, they seem very lost.
Maybe I'll change my mind later, but honestly, like for me, the most solidifying thing for me to say, like, I think next season's gonna be terrible. The like final scenes of the final episode of the season literally had me slamming my hands on the table and being like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, they are grasping at straws to have a story arc for next season. After fucking Rick forgave Negan and was like, welcome to Carl's utopia bullshit rainbow palace.
And invited back old Judice too from the trash dump.
Right, girl. Maggie freaked out as soon as Rick was like, we're not killing Negan. And then later she kind of composed herself in a near end scene. And she was sitting in a room all menacingly with a camera slowly panning into her with like the lights all down, talking in her fake southern accent. And she was like, what Rick did, it ain't right. And it was like, first of all, who are you talking to? And like, why are they living so deep in the shadows? Like, we can't see them? Like, so much about the scene was like overly dramatic. And then coming out of the shadows was like Jesus. And he was like, And she was like, I'm laying out my plan for you. We're gonna do this. And what Michonne did also wasn't right. And she was like, we're gonna get them. And then, like, final, like, tipper on this thing, Daryl moves out of the shadows.
Not Daryl.
And Daryl's like, yeah, what they did's not right. We gonna show them. And it was like, in what world is Jesus? That's like a fucking joke. Like, Jesus, Maggie, and Daryl walk into a bar, and they don't believe in Rick anymore.
Right.
It's so not a thing that, like...
Yeah, girl.
It like does not exist.
Right. Yeah.
Like that is not a thing.
Well,
I'm so angry.
Also, can I just say, like, Carol can put an end to this in 1 second when she finds out she's gonna walk
Sarah's
off.
just gonna slit some throats.
Well, first of all, Carol could just kill them all 2 seconds flat.
Maybe
I know
that's what they'll do.
Jesus thinks he's a ninja, and they all think they're badasses, but against Carol, girl, you dead.
Girl.
It's that cookie you ate last night. That's what's gonna kill you, bitch. Carol thinks ahead. You know.
She's a planner because she's a woman.
Yes. No. But Carol could just walk up to Maggie and be like, do you think Glenn would want you to do this?
Girl.
Like,
no.
And no. So it's like,
No.
and that's why it rings so false to me. I agree with you. Jesus, I hate so much. I could see him following Maggie anywhere, but he's been so pacifist. So maybe they're not looking at a violent show. They're just looking at like a vote or something. I don't know.
But even Daryl and Rick have
Daryl's character has been,
their tension has been mounting.
Yes,
they have certainly fought over the last season.
they're not true blue. They literally fought this last season.
But even
like,
their tension's mounting. I always felt like that was so off book for their relationship. Like, to me, Daryl and Rick had formed this like agreement where they were like, we don't always think that what each other does is the right thing, but that like we'll always stand by one another. And like, okay, they fight, they're in a bad place right now, but I don't think
Daryl gets a bunch of people killed. That happened this season.
Did it?
Yeah, he did something. I forget what it was, but it was in the first half of the season, and he fucked up the plan somehow, and that's what set everything like
astray.
Yeah,
I don't remember that, but I'm sure that.
I remember being so mad at him.
But even in like that world, I don't feel like it could get to as bad a place where Daryl would be like, yeah, we gotta kill Rick.
No.
Like, to me,
no,
I
don't think
an alternate
I don't
universe.
think violence is what they're doing. I think it's gonna be something like, they'll kill a cat and say Negan snuck out and did it. And see, we should have, you know what I'm saying? Like, something like that, where they're like, you made a mistake. Not like, I'm gonna shoot you in the head. No. Because, no, that just doesn't, none of them would do that. I don't think.
I guess we'll see.
Unless they think he's crazy. This might be about them just trying to say, we love you, but you can't lead us anymore.
Well, people who we have seen zealots of many forms who truly believe that what they think is right and what you did is wrong, take drastic action. And to me, that's where Maggie is. I don't know about Jesus and Daryl, but to me, Maggie's in a place where she's like, what you did is so wrong that you don't deserve to live. Like, I truly think that Maggie thinks that what Rick did in this version of what they've created. But like the Maggie that we've known this whole time,
yeah, it just doesn't.
I don't know.
That doesn't vibe with her character. Just,
it's
excessive Glenn is
and
dead.
dramatic.
Glenn is dead, so what Glenn would have wanted wouldn't matter. But I genuinely think any person in the show could say that to her, and she would stop. pursuing this
I
course of
will
action.
say, I think her persona as the widow is like pretty dope.
Yeah. Oh, I love her.
Yeah.
I mean, she's really come into her own this last 2 seasons or so, which couldn't have happened until Glenn died. So I guess that's a silver lining.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, speaking of that, okay. Marry, fuck, kill. Or maybe I should say marry and then kill, fuck and then kill, or just kill right off the bat. Because everyone dies, so might as well just kill them all.
Yeah.
Okay. Maggie, Carol, Michonne. Strong, badass women, of which there are many.
I know you really love Carol, but you know
Don't
that
you
I
tell
have
me.
never had a thing for her.
Don't you tell me
She's
you're just
dead.
going to kill her.
She's
What?
dead. Also,
What?
because if I don't kill her, she's going to kill me.
Well, that is true. She will kill you eventually. She kills us all, yeah.
I think Michonne is like sexy, but too intense for me, honestly. So I'm going to just fuck her once and be like, thank you. See you later. And then I think I'm going to marry Maggie.
That's a good choice.
Because she seems like a good wife.
Well, maybe. She's gone off the deep end at this point. I don't know about all that.
She seems like she might be a good wife. We'll see.
I would. Ooh, it's very hard. I would want to marry Carol because we're similar. We could be married, live across town in the woods from each other.
Fabulous.
And I would just call her when I was like, girl, I'm dying. And she'd come over save me.
She would, though.
She's so good. I love Carol. I think I'm going to have to kill Maggie because Michonne's my favorite character from the comics.
She is pretty dope.
So I'm going to have to fuck Michonne. But I could marry any of them, honestly.
Aww,
they're good characters.
That's sweet.
Okay, marry, fuck, kill. Hilltop, Kingdom, Alexandria. That's really vacation, stay, burn to the ground. That's really what I'm asking.
Okay. So I think I would burn to the ground.
That's difficult.
Well, it's weird, but like I can't remember why Alexandria seems like a good place because like I feel like they don't even have a sustainability plan.
It's just the wall, really. That's what they have going for them is that wall that the architect and his wife
I feel
built.
like burnt by Alexandria because we've had so much history there, so I'm gonna have to burn it.
Also, we saw a lot of it burn this last season anyway.
So let's just burn that down.
Okay, finish with you, Alexandria.
You're dead.
You're nothing.
And then I think I want to vacation at Hilltop because it's kind of like bumpkin-y. I don't know, like
if you're not staying in the big
vacay.
house, for sure.
And then I think I want to live at the Kingdom because they really just seem, out of all those communities, to have their shit together the most.
Yeah. I agree with you. Right?
Yeah.
Everything I agree. But also, besides that, Alexandria is essentially just suburbs. I mean, it's suburbs in the zombie apocalypse.
And then you have a
but,
swimming
like,
pool.
Exactly.
Girl.
What is this? Where is the clubhouse in these suburbs?
That's
it wasn't
without
built, I
that.
guess. Ooh,
No.
zombie apocalypse stopped it. I don't want to hear it!
Like, how many spas do they have?
Yeah, that's my question.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Alexandria, they got a tiger? Okay.
Oh, you mean the Kingdom?
Oh, that's what I meant. The kingdom
Yeah, they
got
got
a
a
tiger?
tiger. That's like a free zoo.
Yeah, And then the hilltop, they got mansion.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's on the hilltop right
Girl.
there. Okay, one last one. This might be the hardest, but it might be the easiest, okay? Marry, fuck, kill. Negan, the governor, Jadis.
This is easy for me.
Okay,
actually.
I wasn't sure. Yeah.
I'm gonna kill Jadis.
Okay.
Because I'm not into
Everyone
her shtick.
agrees with you. Everyone agrees with
I'm gonna fuck the governor because he's weirdly sexy with his eye patch, but also he's like very much off the deep end.
Yeah, that's true. It'd be rough to marry him when he's got that girl, his little girl,
In like
up
a
in that
water
room.
tank or whatever. I'm
Yeah,
not fucking with that.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not fucking
fucked.
with that.
You're right about that. I didn't think about
But
that.
he is like weirdly sexy though. Like I knew what Andrea saw. I was like, girl, I know what's
yeah.
wrong, but I get him.
Oh, he's fine though. Yeah.
And Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
Oh,
girl,
Oh.
even though he's got like
Oh.
15 wives, if I
Yeah.
could just be one of them,
you'd be okay with that.
that's right,
I mean,
Girl.
I maybe wouldn't be okay with it, but I would bend over.
girl. Everybody was like, he makes everyone be his wife. I'm like, did you see his face? Who is he making?
Yeah, and also look at your choices out in the zombie apocalypse, girl. Damn, everyone's standards have fallen
Pretty much.
deeply.
Yeah, so I'm joining the Negan harem. That's where I live.
Yes. I don't know. Definitely gonna kill Jadis. I feel like maybe the governor wouldn't have gone so crazy if you could have had me there to listen to him.
You could have nurtured him.
Yes, I could have fixed him.
Which, as we know,
that always works.
Is the foundation for every relationship.
I can fix any man. But I think I would like to. Negan to me is insidious because he's abusive. Yeah. Now they all are. I mean, in their
he's a garbage person.
Yes, of course. But his certain kind of masculinity frightens me in a way. So I think I would just fuck him, and then I think I'd try to marry the governor and work with his little broken, pale, all dressed in black sort of thing. Yeah. Like that's my jam. Okay. Those are my boys. Well, let's see. I think this show, it just isn't, I just don't think it's good anymore. Maybe we will do one more episode for season 9 to finish up Andrew Lincoln leaving. But don't be surprised if this is our last Walking Dead episode, because I can't pretend to care much about this show anymore. I mean, whoever's in charge doesn't care. Or not the right way anyway. Yeah.
Also, they're supposed to be bringing back The Talking Dead with Chris Hardwick. Oh. And there's a lot of controversy around that.
Because of his controversy.
So I wonder... It's almost like an added level of dumpster fire, because it's like your main character has quit the show. This is his last season. Also, your storyline is bananas, and this person who's supposed to be your biggest super fan who hosts the super fan show is an alleged sex offender.
Yeah, well, and he's also supposed to be. I mean, it's really bad for him because. He's supposed to be that breath of fresh, clean, funny air after the horrible zombie apocalypse. Yeah.
And he
got reinstated. I mean,
he hasn't done much of anything since those. He has that really lucrative podcast, and he hasn't put an episode out since then. And he used to release weekly episodes.
Wow. I don't know. I heard some famous person was talking about it. You may have seen it. I forget where it was. But they were talking about that accusation. And they were like, you know what? The problem is that now we've gotten to where no other women came forward to say that Chris Hardwick was an abuser. It was literally one woman, and it was his ex-partner. Mm-hmm. And they were like, okay, now we're into scary territory if you're going to ruin his career because his ex-wife said he's an asshole. And I was like, oh, you know what, girl? That strikes home to me. Yes, that's not enough. That's not enough. And, also, though, it's unpleasant because in our current climate, it seems like nobody's sweet or nice, and everyone has this hidden side that's so gross and mean, and it's just so depressing. I think, but with Chris Hardwick, it's you know what? We don't care enough about him to really get up in arms about this, but he's nice, he makes us laugh, he's connected to a lot of shows we like, and there is so little evidence for this that this is one we're just not going to pursue. I think as a society, we were like, nah, girl, it's too much. It's such a horrible accusation, and it seems out of nowhere, and she can't prove it, and she's one person, and no one else has backed her up in any way, so... I guess that's just what it is. I don't know.
Well, I think that he will move on to... I don't think his career is dead.
No, I don't think so.
But I think his career is altered. And actually, I feel like he deserves, some sort of repercussion. Because, even if she was only, one accuser... I don't know. I feel like... His friends didn't really come to support him. And, I don't know. I feel fine with what's happened to him. And, he did, I don't know. I was a fan, and, I don't know. It's just one of those gray areas where it's he just said that it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. He was like, that's not a thing. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I can't even, think about it. But... Mm-hmm. I'm intrigued to see what happens with his work on The Talking Dead.
Well, I'll tell you one damn thing. I'm not, because I won't be watching The Talking Dead either.
Well, I haven't watched it.
How am I going to watch The Talking Dead if I don't watch the show?
I haven't watched it in years anyways, because they don't make it streaming. You can't get it anymore.
No, it's so hard to find. Yeah, so I used to watch it on Project Free TV.
They make it difficult, so
Why
I just
did they make
haven't
it so
seen it.
Hard?
I don't know, girl.
Ugh.
I think
people.
I made a special effort to tune in to the last Talking Dead I saw was when Glenn and Abraham died. Like the Talking Dead after that. It was like a big
one.
deal.
And it like rained the entire, do you remember?
Yes.
That whole
so that was
episode?
a good one. But that was the last one I saw. And that was like 2 seasons ago.
They've been pretty forgettable since then. I mean, like, you know, when what's her face, Sasha died, she came on and that was very touching actually to see her. But nothing can really compare to Glenn, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people say, even though it was in the comic, that was when the show, not actually Glenn's death, but his fake out death underneath the dumpster. Do you remember?
Yes, it was traumatic.
A lot of people point to that as when the show first cracked and like jumped the shark because it was so manipulative.
And then because they did end up killing him later.
Yeah, just a few episodes later. It wasn't long at all. I think that was maybe mid-season finale or something.
Also, that
could be a lie.
The time frame in this show is so like minute.
Yeah.
Like no time has gone by. Maggie's like pregnant, but like
barely.
Only days have gone by with her pregnancy. Like she's
well, and that's one of those things. I mean, it's like all of a sudden we weren't watching The Walking Dead. We were watching 24 or something.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like every moment.
Day by day.
But then it's like you can have the same moment 7 times because they're in 7 different groups.
Yes.
No, Queen, you're doing too much.
Yeah.
You're doing too much. Yeah, it was very disappointing. I mean, I'm done as a long-term fan, you know. It's funny because people on Reddit after every episode, someone's like, I'm done! They only showed the poplar trees for 2 minutes, I'm done! You know? And you're like, girl, really, the poplars? But I think hopefully people can understand. I have never before been like, I'm done with The Walking Dead. But I'm seriously,
it's
I don't
annoying.
care.
Yeah.
I might, if I have nothing else to watch after it's streamable, season 9, I might watch it.
Girl, that's kind of where I'm at. If there's nothing better to watch, and I heard a good spoiler that I wanted to get in on the know.
Yeah. And maybe. I just want to like zone out to trash.
I have several friends that have given up on The Walking Dead, like a while ago.
When do you think it should have ended?
Well, I think this season would have been a great time to end it, but they made no effort to put the storyline in a direction to wrap it up.
No.
Because, like, the thing is like, they can't, like, the end of this series can't be the end of the zombie apocalypse. Like, there's, in no world are we solving the zombie apocalypse with the storylines that we're following. I think the only way we can end it is everyone dies. Like, honestly, I either think everyone dies or they find, like, a drastic new journey to go on and leave it like a cliffhanger. Like, maybe this will be good for us.
Well, but they have to find... I think the end, you're right.
Or they find the cure and leave it open-ended.
Yeah, but like maybe even they find the cure and then they all die. And that's how we know it's the cure is because they inoculated themselves and didn't become zombies when they died. And so then maybe it's that question of, it doesn't matter though. Because you're right, it's not going to end. They haven't set up. I think they could have ended with the Negan storyline and could have made more out of the Negan storyline. No, more out of the my mercy overcomes my wrath or whatever he said over and over.
Which was so annoying the way they did it.
That hazy lighting, that whole thing. I was like, girl, really? Every time? I get it.
How many times they make Andrew Lincoln repeat that phrase?
That's his new Carl.
Carl's like, what?
What, Dad? I think though, I mean, if they don't end with Negan, they got to do the Whisperers,
which they're already committed to.
Which is I think that's still going on in the
comic.
my
god!
So I think it's going to be on forever, and they're literally going to run into the ground. And when all the original actors say they don't want to do it anymore, they're just going to bring in new actors.
There's been rumors that the girl who plays Maggie wants to leave. I don't know.
I've heard that rumor too.
I don't know if there's truth to it.
I've heard a rumor that she and Daryl and it wasn't Michonne, Carol were all like ready to leave.
Well, if they leave,
it's got to be over.
Like, what is left?
We say that, but think about old Grey's Anatomy, girl. I mean, we don't. That's still running.
Wait, is that main girl not still on there?
No, she left a long time ago.
But isn't she Grey?
Huh? Meredith Grey was her name, yeah. But Grey's Anatomy is also the name of the book they read, so it's that textbook for doctors.
Did her mom write it?
No. I'm laughing at you. It's like a famous medical thing.
But, like, what's her
Let me look it up.
association to it?
She's just a nurse or a doctor or whatever.
She's not a legacy Gray.
Girl, I don't think
You laughing at me, but what if she is?
You know what? I'm so sorry.
Ridiculous.
You're right.
Maybe her great-great-great-grandmother, Meredith Grey the 54th, wrote that fucking book. He doesn't know. He's over there googling because he doesn't know shit.
You're right, girl. And you know what's even worse? I've seen maybe one episode of that show, so I'm like such an asshole to even do this.
But what? Obviously, Patrick Dempsey's not there anymore, I bet. I knew he was on that
maybe,
show.
Look, wait, maybe you're right. Look. One of the young doctors, I'm sorry I said she's a nurse, she's a doctor. And the show's namesake, Meredith Grey, is the doctor of a famous surgeon. Maybe it's her mom who wrote Grey's Anatomy. But I think, particularly, no. Well, I think it's like a book also.
I'm sure.
Okay. Let's see. Because all I can find is like stuff about the show.
All I can find is my vindication that I was right.
Oh, for the textbook. No, you're not right. You're 100% wrong. Listen, Grey's Anatomy is an English language textbook of human anatomy, originally written by Henry Grey in 1858, girl.
That was her grandpa?
I can't do it. I've had enough with you. I'm just saying. But here's my whole point of that whole tangent, which was enjoyable. But Grey's Anatomy is still ongoing. And Meredith Grey, sure enough, done left that show. And so did every other character. I don't think any of the original characters are still there. All right. So maybe they're just going to pull a Grey's Anatomy, girl. And just... I mean, I don't know anyone who watches Grey's Anatomy anymore. I don't think I do. But people must still watch it because they shall air that shit. I didn't even know that shit still aired. Someone told me recently. I was like, what? Where are you watching reruns? They were like, no, girl.
I only knew it still aired because they made a big deal of the series finale. Like, the internet made a big deal of it. And I literally had the same reaction.
Season?
No, I think it, like, just ended.
Oh, it just ended.
Yeah. Like,
oh
God, he's in there.
That fly just flew into your water.
Oh, God. Oh, he's fully... Okay. We'll deal with that later. All right, let's wrap up this Walking Dead
He's
talk.
pooping all over your water.
I got flies shitting in my water.
Girl,
and...
that's a metaphor for this season we just watched.
Girl, it's like that fly in my water bottle.
Do you have
trash?
Do you have a plug or anything?
I don't. I'm so passionate and tired.
Yeah.
I have nothing.
I would say my plug is don't waste
bother.
your time. I would say watch The Walking Dead up through, why not season 6, I'd give you.
Okay.
And then be like, you know what? Negan's out there, but I don't need to meet him, and just go start watching something else. That's my plug.
Honestly,
Walking
I feel okay
Dead
with
up through
that.
season
I feel
6.
okay with that.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, while you're checking out The Walking Dead through season 6, you might as well check us out on the internet. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram.
We're on Instagram. I'm being your hype man right now.
I love it.
What?
We're at B&B Cast.
That's us?
Hey,
wait,
baby.
but now you don't need a hype man if you're already hyping yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Good Lord. You give me a job and then take it away, just like a white woman.
At B&B Cast.
Okay.
We're at B&B Cast.
.wordpress.com.
Oh, yeah, we're there too, girl.
Yeah, girl. We do have a blog on WordPress.
Yeah, listen, please just find us, rate us, review us, share us, tell people about us.
The iTunes rating is actually one of the most important things you can do, in addition to subscribing, of course. But
some people think having a child is the most important. But it's actually this.
Some people do. Some people think that having a child is the
important.
point of life, but I'm telling you, the point of life is to rate Beauty and the Bitch on iTunes.
Actually, we're gonna hashtag and code
Yes.
this episode with the keyword "the point of life."
And my queen, when you get up to those pearly gates and you see my faggy ass and this bitch ass beside me, and we say, "We told you, girl."
We told you. You think Peter or Paul's gonna be there for you? It is Mickey and
queen.
Morgie.
And we'll be like, "Oh, no rating, hell."
Hell's to the no.
Oh, and we'll be like, "Oh, less than a 5-star rating, hell."
Heaven is a lonely place.
Girl, we got about 4, 5, 6 of us up there.
Basically, us with different usernames. We're the only people there.
Oh, so please rate us. We're so sad.
Please do.
Check us out on YouTube too.
Yeah, we got like every episode on there.
Except that one.
Okay, yeah, we are missing
There's
that
one
one.
episode.
I don't know what happened there.
One episode.
Can't tell you, baby.
I don't know either. We also got a complete run of Let's Queer Witcher 3.
Oh, hell yeah.
And by complete, I don't mean I did a completionist run of the game. I don't even mean I finished the game. But I gave you something to chew on. And you know what?
Honestly,
that's better than nothing.
You're welcome.
Yes, it's the jerky of Let's Play videos. It's chewy, it's chewy, it's chewy, it's gone.
Honestly, I mean, awesome, right?
Yeah.
It's totally great.
Yeah, bingeable, you might say. Okay.
All right, we'll check out those things, and we will catch you next time, babies.
Bye, babies.
Bye-bye.
I love this zombie makeup you did, Morgie. Why'd you wear zombie makeup for an audio recording, though?
It's natural.
Woo!
Do you have a home? Beauty in the Bed.
You look. Beauty in the Bed.
Beauty in the Bed.
Beauty in the Bed.
Bitch.